Welcome to Natural Habitat Adventures Daily Dose of Nature. Today's topic, brilliant biodiversity in Costa Rica's Corcovado National Park. Presented by NatHab Expedition Leader Alex Arias. I'm your host, Rob Mess. Thank you for being here with us today. Alex, take it away.
Okay, thank you, Rob, and thank you, everybody. So, greetings from Costa Rica. Thank you all for joining us this afternoon. Today, we are be sharing some notes about Corcovado National Park in Costa Rica. As we go. So, yes, I know. I like this picture too. This is a puma, which is probably lately becoming the symbol of the national park due to frequent sightings on every trip, on some trips there. So first, let me show you where Costa Rica is on a map, just in case you're not really aware what Costa Rica is. It's right, that little point right there covers just 0.03% of the Earth surface of the world. Um, that 0.03 protects 5% of the biodiversity in the world. That means 5% of all the animals, plants, and living creatures in the world are right here in this little tiny country. In order to compare, the size of Costa Rica is the size of West Virginia, and is home of maybe more than 930 species of birds, 249 species of mammals, and about 355,000 of insects, and about 2,300 different types of trees in the country. Um, Today, as you know, Costa Rica is ahead of many countries in the region and is a good example of protection and conservation. But Costa Rica was not always that good. In the beginning of the 1800s, Costa Rica was a disaster. We were cutting the forest in an alarming rate. So from 1940s, we used to have 75% coverage of forest to the 1980s to 21% coverage of forests. But thanks to all the conservation programs and the creation of the Costa Rica National Park system in 1970, Costa Rica began the recovery of its forests. And today, as you can see in the picture, we probably have 57% coverage of forests. That's the official number from the government. But we don't believe in the government, but I think about 50 to 55% of the country is covered with forests. As you can see, 30% of our territory is protected by the system of national parks and protected areas. Costa Rica, as you can see on this map, have more than 30 national parks, as well as other protected areas such as biological reserves and wildlife preserve or wildlife refuges. But today, we're not talking about all those parks. I want to talk about one specific national park, which is right here at the Osa Peninsula, and it's called Corcovado National Park. Just to be more specific, Corcovado National Park, that little yellow area right there, it was created in October 1975 and is considered by National Geographic one of the most biological intense places on the planet, and is the largest national park in Costa Rica and occupies almost half of the beautiful and unspoiled Osa Peninsula in the south part of Costa Rica. It's important. People say, okay, that's a national park, but how you get there? So it's easy. You have to get to San Jose, and there are a couple ways to get there. From San Jose, you can drive about 7 hours to Sierpe, or you can drive about 7 hours to Puerto Jimenez, or you can fly directly to Sierpe or to Drake, and from there you take a car or you take a boat to get close to the entrance of the park. Also, you can fly to Puerto Jimenez. Both of these flights is about 40 minutes direct flight from San Jose to the south part of the country. Okay, So back to the park again. This is Corcovado National Park. It has a territory of about 113,000 acres of land. It's home of 2.5% of the biodiversity in the world. Remember, in Costa Rica, we have 5% of the biodiversity, but just in that small area in Corcovado is home of 2.5% of the whole biodiversity. It has two seasons. Well, I always say we have two seasons in Costa Rica, rainy season and really rainy season, but it's supposed to be officially dry season and rainy season. The dry season in Corcovado starts in December and goes to April, and the rainy season or really rainy season goes from this April to December. For you to have an idea, I think in Colorado you get about 20 inches of rain per year in average. In Corcovado, we can get 220 inches of rain per year. It's a very rainy place. It's composed with mature forests up in the hills, secondary forests in the lowlands, reforestation programs, and mangrove areas. So Corcovado faces various threats, mainly illegal mining and poaching. Some of the efforts and the conservation programs that they have been encouraging that area is they want to train locals to become local guides. It's a way to generate more employment in the area. As you can see, there are not too many jobs in that area because far from the cities. So by training the local people, they want to be sure that they helps the economy. Also, this is a very good thing for NAHAF. You know, all the expedition leaders in Costa Rica for NAHAF, we are authorized guides to guide in together, but we always hire a local guide when we go there. One of the conservation efforts and ideas that we have, we don't want to take jobs away. So every time we go there, we hire one of those local guides to help the economy, the local economy. Back to the park again. So there are different ways to visit the Corcovado National Park, and there are different sections that you can visit. For example, this is the two main areas that access by land, so you can walk there. This Sector La Leona, again, Sirena, and Los Patos. Those are places, I'm sorry again, La Leona and Los Patos. This is the places that you can almost drive to the entrance of the park. And then we have Sirena, the most difficult place to access. To get there, you can hike about 8 hours from Los Patos, or you can hike about, again, 8 hours from Sirena, which is the main entrance to the park. Also, we have the Sector San Pedrillo, accessed by boat from Drake Bay or from Sierpe River, but you have to spend about 1.5 hours by boat. The good news with this is all our groups stay in a hotel right next to the entrance to the park. So when we visit the park, we can easily visit the park on foot from the hotel. I know this is a lot of information about the park, and sometimes it gets a little boring, but I know the history of the park is interesting, but let's see what people wanted to see. What can we expect to see in Corcovado National Park? So in Corcovado, you can see about 375 species of birds, including about 18 species of endemic birds. This is like this one, black chick and tanager. This is a bird that you can only see at the Osa Peninsula and in Corcovado. Nowhere else in the world you can find this bird. It's home of the healthiest population of scarlet macaws in Costa Rica. You know, for a long time, macaws were very endangered in Costa Rica because of poaching. People wanted to have those as pets, but the way is the worst pet ever because the bird most of the time outlive the person who owns the bird, and then people have no idea what to do with the bird. Anyway, we have the healthiest population of scarlet macaws in the country, in the Osa Peninsula, and especially in the Corcovado National Park. I can say that we can, every day when we go to the park, we can see groups of macaws flying along the beach. The largest toucan in Costa Rica, yellow-throated toucan, easily found anywhere in the Corcovado National Park and in the Osa Peninsula as well. 8,000 species of insects, about 6,000 species of butterflies in Costa Rica, like this glass-winged butterfly. You can see through, as you can see in the pictures, you can see through their wings. And also on this little video, using light, you can really see the effect of the glass wing. Other species, 117 species of reptile and amphibians. I love these pictures. This is a little turtle getting kissed by a beautiful butterfly. Other things that we 124 species of mammals, like this three-toed sloth. That's one of the things that people wanted to see in Costa Rica and also in Corcovado. This is a three-toed sloth, scratching and having a good time. Again, 124 species of mammals, including 58 species of bats in Costa Rica. This is what we call common tent-making bats. Some people don't like them, but I think they're really cute animals. Other animals, 3 species of anteaters, like this northern tamandua. Again, we have 3 species in Costa Rica. We have the northern tamandua, we have the silky anteater like this one, and we also supposedly have the giant anteater, but we don't have a picture. It's considered extinct in Costa Rica in the 1980s because we don't have any reports with pictures since the 1987 or something like that. 3 species of monkeys in the park. Spider monkeys, howler monkeys. That's a male, by the way, as you can see in the picture. We have white-faced capuchin monkeys. And the smallest monkey in Costa Rica, which is the squirrel monkey. 25 species of cetaceans has been reported on the Pacific coast in Costa Rica. Some in the waters protected by the national park in Corcovado and nearby areas. Like this is a humpback whale. We have a big migration of humpback whales that come from South America to Costa Rica, to that area in Corcovado. They came here to have their babies, and also to mate. They found warmer waters and no predators, so they can take care of the young ones. We also have a group that migrates from North America all the way here to southern part of Costa Rica. Of course, we have beautiful beaches, but also we do not recommend to go swimming. In fact, swimming is not allowed on the park beaches because it's not unusual to see large crocodiles and bull sharks patrolling the coast, especially closer to the river mouths in the Corcovado National Park. Other species of mammals that we can see that are very endangered in Costa Rica, for example, the sainos or peccaries. You can observe big groups right now. There's no hunting allowed in Costa Rica. About 12 years ago, they banned all hunting in Costa Rica, so nobody can get a permit. The peccary or saino, they can be up to maybe 30 kilograms, talking about 60 pounds. And again, you can see big groups in the Corcovado National Park. It's funny, you can definitely smell them before you see them, but they're common to see them on every hike on the park. Danta or tapir, this is the largest mammal, land mammal in Costa Rica. It can weigh up to 600 pounds. Possible population in Costa Rica, again, this is another animal is very endangered. So we think we have about 1,000 individuals in Costa Rica. And just in Colorado, we think we have between 250 to 300 individuals just in the Osa Peninsula. And the endanger of this species is the loss of habitat. Remember, in the 1980s, forests used to have no value, so the government was encouraging people to cut the forest and grow something else. And then we changed the mentality along with the national parks. And now people are more aware and more into protecting the forest. So all these animals like the tapir are coming back. Not in big numbers, but they're coming back fine. Sometimes people think it's very easy to see them. They're kind of shy. Normally they're more active at night, but if we're lucky, like this lady here, all these pictures and all these videos are taken on our trips here in Costa Rica. This happens about a month ago. We were hiking in Corcovado at the San Pedrillo Ranger Station. Just imagine, they can grow up to 600 pounds. It's a big animal, but they're kind of friendly. We try not to interfere. We're hiking and the animal gets close to us. We just enjoy the moment. Another thing that most people wanted to see in Costa Rica is a jaguar. I have to tell you, I got this from the hotel we used there. It's a footage from one of the track cameras because I have never seen one in Corcovado. I have seen jaguars in other places, but I have never seen one in Corcovado. Most of all these other videos that I show you today and some of the pictures have been taken while guiding with groups in Corcovado. This is a coati or pisote. They look very friendly, very cute, but they can be really mean. They're related with your raccoons. And if you're lucky in one of the hikes, you can see big groups. You can see 10 to 50 little raccoons or coatis running along the park. And the icon of Corcovado, what I think, puma or mountain lion or cougar. A lot of people probably have seen this in the US. This puma in the Puma costarricense, is a little subspecies of the one you have in North America. This subspecies, you can find it between Nicaragua and Panama, of course, including Costa Rica. It's a very large cat from the nose to the tip of the tail. They can reach 8 feet and they can be up to 160 pounds. This is an animal with the largest territorial distribution, and it can be found from all the way from Alaska all the way down to Patagonia in Argentina. We have been very lucky with groups. Sometimes we get really close to these cats in Costa Rica. And let me show you a little video from last month again. We were hiking with a group, and guess what? There he was. This is a good example how intense the biodiversity is in the Corcovado National Park in Costa Rica. This is amazing. This is my friend, another expedition leader from Jimmy. You know, you can almost touch, of course it's not going to happen, but you can almost touch the cat. The cats don't care about people. They just go along doing their own business. And as a tradition, every time we go to the park, we end each trip in Corcovado with a beautiful sunset in the afternoon, enjoying a sunset with a glass of wine after every trip. So finally, if you want to visit and discover the most biological intense place on the planet, all you have to do is visit our webpage and look for the National Geographic of Costa Rica, or you can just call your adventure specialist. They will be happy to send you in the right way to visit the park. Thank you, everybody. I don't take much of your time. I want to see if you have any questions. I will be happy to answer.
All right, Alex, thank you so much. Now, before we dive into the question and answer session, I would like to remind everyone that if you do have questions, you can submit them via the question field in your control panel. If you go to the upper right-hand corner, you'll see those three lines there. Go ahead and click on that and scroll down to where you see questions. And then if you submit that in there, I will be able to ask Alex the questions for you. All right, so let's dive into some of these questions. So, what time of year does this trip run?
Well, the only time, I tell you the other way, the only time we don't run the trip is October. First of all,
October.
because it rain a lot, but also the hotels we just, they close on October because it is the rainy season, and that will be the rainiest part of the year. So we can run this trip from November to September, all year round.
Gotcha.
Works
Uh, uh,
is important. Sometimes people think, okay, it's rainy season. Normal day in the rainy season will be like nice sunny mornings, and we have a couple showers in the afternoon. That's it.
that doesn't sound so bad to me, especially
Definitely
to
not.
see all this wonderful ethnic diversity. Or So let's dive into some more questions. So let's talk about pumas for a second. Do we know what the pumas eat?
Besides tourists, no, just kidding. No, it's a surprise because all these protection conservation programs that we have run in the country, we see more and more pumas. First of all, because they're not hunting in Costa Rica. So the main prey for the puma would be the peccaries, which I showed you a picture earlier. Peccaries and also the agoutis. They're coming back in big numbers, so there we see more and more pumas. It's
Very
interesting
interesting.
because we also see the pumas hunting for iguanas. Amazing experience that I have with clients is we were just beginning of the hike and we saw mama puma climbing a tree, chasing down an iguana and teaching the cubs how to hunt and how to kill the iguana right in front of the group. So that's something that stays in your mind for a long time.
Great. Thank you for sharing that. What about the quetzal? Am I going to see a quetzal if I come out there?
Not in Corcovado because quetzal live in the cloud forest of Costa Rica. But in our trip, the trip that goes to Corcovado also goes to Monteverde. So it's a great combination. After we go to Corcovado, which is hot and humid, we go up to the cloud forest, which is cold and less rain and cloudy. And that's the place where we can see not only the quetzal, but lots of other birds and a lot of wildlife.
And this is the same trip.
This is the same trip, yeah.
And how many days does the trip run?
So this whole trip, the Jules of Costa Rica, it's 11 days. So we spend 2 days on the Caribbean side. Then we fly from Tortuguero to Corcovado. We spend 2 nights in Corcovado. And after that, we go to Monteverde, 2 more nights. And at the end, we stay 3 nights on Arenal area, which is the Caribbean foothills. So we visit different life zones in Costa Rica with different wildlife from each place.
Great. Thank you for that. So can you tell us what a typical day on this NatHab trip would look like?
Okay, let's talk about the day we visit Corcovado. So you get up early in the morning, probably 5:30 or 6 o'clock in the morning. We do a little early morning walk just around the uh, gardens of the hotel, looking for wildlife and birds and that, just before breakfast. So the early the better. Then we do breakfast and we start our hike. So we hike directly from the hotel into the park. So about an hour from the hotel, we hit to the ranger station. And sometimes people, okay, how long is that? Let's say it's a mile, but we don't know if that's gonna take us half an hour or 2 hours because it's not about going from point A to point B. So we want to try to maximize our chances to see wildlife.
Great. Thank you. And so how far are we going to have to walk each day, would you say?
You can go as long as you want to. We have our plan to get to one place, but also, as I told you, we always hire a local guy So for those people that wanted to go for an extended hike, or people that wanted to focus more into birding, and other people wanted to go more for the exercise, we can accommodate everybody on this trip. But I would say, in average, we walk maybe 3 hours per day.
Great.
Again, you can go as long as you want to.
Great. That's great to know. We appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, and also, we have like a base um, hike of the day, and then we can add always all the expedition leaders that come into the trip. They're always ready to go for longer hikes or to go and explore a little more.
That's great to know, especially for those of us who never like to stop.
Yes,
So you mentioned
that's
that
me.
there were, I'm sorry, go ahead.
That's me.
Yeah.
I never
Yeah.
like to stop. I always
Our,
trying to get somebody in to do something different.
that's what we want to do on these trips. Have as much fun as we possibly can.
Yeah.
So you talked about all the many different species of insects and bugs you have there. So are we having to worry about mosquitoes or anything we need to do to prepare to protect ourselves from them?
That's one of the things that most of our past clients tell us. Alex, you should tell people there is a lack of mosquitoes. People are worried about mosquitoes in Costa Rica, but they will be surprised. There are almost no mosquitoes where we're hiking. So you don't have to worry about mosquitoes in Costa Rica. Of course, depends on the season, depends on where you are, but most of the time it's almost mosquito free.
Wow, that's great to know. Thanks for passing that along. Um,
That's important to know because when people travel to the tropics, oh, they say, "Oh, okay, I'm gonna get eaten by the mosquitoes." I tell you, I've been in Texas, I've been in Minnesota in the summertime, in Alaska. Oh my God, there you can see mosquitoes, but you will be surprised how very few mosquitoes you can run into here in Costa Rica.
I'll take note of that. Thank you. What about horse riding? There's the ability to ride horses through the forest and maybe see some howling monkeys out there.
Not in Corcovado. Conservation is very important in Costa Rica, and horses will disturb the wildlife and also affect the trails. So in the national parks, there are no horses allowed. There are other places that you can, if you want to do that. We don't really have that included in our trips, but there's always free time that you can set up a trip or horseback riding, especially like in Arenal.
Great, thank you. What about if I wanted to see whale migrations in Corcovado? What month should I target?
Okay, um, the peak will be September. Remember, we have two groups of whales that migrate to Costa Rica. We have the ones who come from South America, and they came in good numbers in August. The peak season was September and the beginning of October. And then they go back south. And then in January, December, end of December, January, February, we have a migration from North America. So whales that are coming from Alaska, they travel all the way to Costa Rica. But if I had to pick a month to go, it would be September.
Got it, September. So, is it possible for people to hold a macaw?
No, not in Costa Rica. Um, Definitely not. These are wild animals, and we're trying to not interfere with the wildlife. If we see them, we wait there. If they get closer, it's okay. But we're not gonna chase the macaws to get a better picture. I would tell people, especially people into photography, what's more important, the picture that you wanna get or the animal? I already know the answer, and they know the answer. So we're
Got
definitely
it.
not gonna hold a macaw. These are wild animals, and they're aggressive sometimes. So you have to be careful.
That's a good point. Thank you so much for that. So, are pumas aggressive towards humans?
You know, I know in North America you have accidents with pumas, but so far we have not heard any reports about pumas attacking people in Costa Rica. These pumas are a little smaller than the one you have in North America. It's a subspecies. And as you saw in that video, they are getting used to people and they just walk by. if you are in top of the food chain, you don't care about much, and they don't see us as a food for them. So they probably see us another big animal that doesn't represent competition or danger for them.
Good to know. Okay. So they are as afraid of us as we are of them.
Exactly. They're probably
All
more
right.
afraid of us.
So we should just keep with the mutual respect and keep our distance and enjoy
Exactly.
this. I like that. Perfect.
As I
Um,
tell people, guys, we are not expecting to see any cat, but just in case that happens, just stay together, don't move, be quiet, and just let the cat do what the cat's doing, passing by or.
gotcha. So let's go back to the typical day we were talking about. We got into the park, but so after we're in the park, what happens for the rest of the day?
That's right, I forgot to tell you. Okay, so we get in the morning, we get a good breakfast, and we start our hike. We go to the park. There's a ranger station there. We have to check into the park because we have to make a reservation. At the park, you have to bring water and some food. But at the park, we have refill water station, and we also have some drinks and some food for everybody there. We are not allowed to bring plastic bottles to the park, so we have to reuse all the not have reusable bottles that not have sent you preview the trip. And once we get there, we have an option. You can wait there. There's a places to sit and some benches. And for those people that wanted to go for a longer hike, we can go take another different trail and go for another hour or 2 hours hike before we get back together and walk back to the hotel and enjoy lunch. Normally, we spend the whole morning in the park. We get back to the hotel about noon or 1 o'clock. After a good lunch, we normally give people time to rest. This is a place that is hot and humid, so I always recommend people to go and take a little break and a little rest and drink lots of water. And in the afternoon, again, we get together normally about 2:30 or 3 o'clock. I get together with the first group to go for a longer hike, and then we go back and get together with the rest of the group for another hike in the afternoon. Normally down to the beach to see the sunset, or to that lookout point that you saw on the video to enjoy the sunset and have a glass of wine or the drink of your choice. So we keep you pretty busy on
Are
every
we
trip.
going? And what are the sleeping accommodations like? I'm assuming we're going to get a good night's sleep.
Oh yes, you are going to have a really good night's sleep in the accommodation we use, especially the one in Corcovado. This is a brand new hotel. They even have air conditioning, very rare for that part of the country.
That sounds lovely. So we have a guest who just booked this trip and is wondering if there's anything that travelers forget that they would love to have had. Is there anything in particular you can think of that most people
That's a
say?
very good question. Not really. Sometimes people they say, "Oh, I forgot my walking stick," but we have those. We can provide walking sticks. People forgot their chargers, the battery charger for their camera. That's important because it's not easy to find those here in Costa Rica.
Gotcha.
And a good thing is sometimes, um, people try, okay, what should I pack? The minimals is better because we offer in Corcovado laundry service for free as part of the trip when we go there.
Oh, wow, that is a good perk. Good to know
That's
that.
important for people to know.
Absolutely. But we can pack a little lighter, maybe bring some extra camera gear.
Yeah, exactly.
What about hummingbirds? Are hummingbirds something that are in the Corcovado?
In Costa Rica, we have about 53 species of hummingbirds. There are probably about 25 in the Corcovado area. And just around the hotel, we can see maybe 3 or 4 species that are unique to the Corcovado area, like the white-crested coquette or the charming hummingbird.
Good to know. So, what about nighttime? Are there any night walks available? And I know, this is mostly about Corcovado, but if we're in Monteverde, can we take a night walk to see a kinkajou?
Oh yeah, not only in Monteverde, we do night walks every day. If people wanted to do, we are always, expedition leaders are always ready for a night walk. And kinkajous, you can see them in different places. I have seen them in Corcovado, in Arenal, and in Monteverde as well.
Great, thank you. So, if you were going to book this trip, Alex, what time of year would you go?
Only one time? Uh, that's a
Good
very good
point.
question. I like all year round. December is great. It's not just the beginning of the dry season. Um, and then from December to April, it gets hotter and hotter and hotter. But that's when you have more chances to see the cats there when it's hotter.
Does it get humid?
It's very humid. Remember, this is a rainforest, and it rains 220 inches of rain per year, and it
That's
can rain even in the dry season. They get rain maybe once a week.
wow. Okay, that's good to know. And you're sure there are no mosquitoes? We don't have to worry about mosquitoes.
You don't have to worry. I mean, there are mosquitoes, but not as people think.
Gotcha. Me- Good to know. So, what size is Corcovado? How big is it?
The whole park is 130,000 acres.
Gotcha. So, what about snakes? It's a rainforest, so there have to be snakes, right?
Oh yeah, in Costa Rica we have about 123 different species of snakes. Only about 19 or 18 are venomous. In Corcovado, I have to be honest, the two more dangerous snakes are in Corcovado. But in, I don't know, 20 years of trips to Corcovado, I probably have seen maybe five of those venomous snakes. They're there, but they're more afraid of you than you are of them. So they're trying to stay away from people. And most of the time, they're more active at night.
Okay, great. Good to know. Um, what about sea turtles? Do we see sea turtles? Will there be time? Could we see them lay eggs?
No, not on this trip. I don't say it happens in that area, but on this trip, sometimes we see them when we're traveling by the ocean, but we don't see them laying eggs on this specific trip. Not in Corcovado. If you go take this trip, the one that visit Corcovado in August, we go to Tortuguero, and then you have a chance to see them laying eggs in Tortuguero, but not in Corcovado.
So, Alex, is there one amazing moment or something that happened on a trip that really stands out to you that you would like to share with us?
Well, what about that time when I saw that mom puma showing the cubs how to kill a iguana?
Wow, that's pretty amazing.
Just any sightseeing of a puma is amazing, you know. And on every trip, there's something always that is very unique for every trip. Talk about seeing a puma or seeing or seeing a tapir walking along the beach.
well, it's pretty amazing to actually watch a mama teaching its cubs how to hunt. That must have been just something unbelievable to see.
Seeing a hummingbird on his nest is pretty amazing. Seeing two tiny little eggs the size of a really tiny bean, or seeing the baby hummingbirds on a nest. Especially this part of the year, we're in the nesting season, so you can see lots of nesting birds around everywhere here on the trip.
Well, it sounds like an absolute amazing experience that I hope I get to experience someday, and I hope everyone out there jumps on the chance to go and come visit you. But unfortunately, Alex, that is going to be the last question that we do have for today. So I'm going to throw it back to you for your closing comments.
No, okay. As I told you, I live in Costa Rica. I love this country, and I really, really like to share uh, Costa Rica with all of you. And thank you for taking your time to join us today on this presentation.
Alex, thank you so much for taking the time to present for us. And I'd also like to thank everyone who tuned in today. So if you are interested in information on how you could travel to Costa Rica with NatHab, please give us a call at 800-543-8917, or you can send us an email at info@nathab.com. Our adventure specialists are happy to help you out. Join us tomorrow for our next daily dose of nature. You can check out this week's lineup, including our registration links, on our website at nathab.com/webinars. We did record today's presentation, and we will have the replay available on our website soon. With that, I will conclude today's webinar. Goodbye, everybody. We will see you next time.